Hello fellow homeschool parents, Sonia here with Bethany Homeschool Academy, bringing you another curriculum video. This curriculum video is on the curriculum that I used for my daughter for her kindergarten year last year for the 2020-2021 homeschool year. Now, this curriculum is no longer being sold by The Good and the Beautiful since they have recently released their Simply Good and Beautiful math line. The Simply Good and Beautiful math line was released due to a lot of feedback from parents saying that the original math line, which you're looking at right here, was not cost efficient or time efficient for their family. They had much larger families, a lot of kids that they were trying to homeschool, and they just didn't like all of the moving parts. This program does come with a number of moving parts, as you can see. It comes with a math activity box, which in that box includes a whole bunch of manipulatives, some tangrams, dice, wooden blocks, quite a number of 10 frames, some tangram puzzles, as well as a number of flashcards, a rec and rec, and then they tell you to make sure to grab some change to add to your box. Additionally, the math box includes the My Place Value chart. Now, a lot of people had different opinions on this place value chart. I personally loved it. It did increase my daughter's math sense. She did start to understand how to add and subtract larger numbers, all right, and did understand, it also helped her understand how to write different numbers. So she was having a lot of problems writing her teen numbers, but once we started working on that place value, it just all kind of made sense to her. And then after she noticed the pattern in that, she started noticing the pattern in the 20s and 30s and 40s, and it just all became very easy for her, okay? Now for the math books. So this is what we worked on for the kindergarten year. We did Math Level K, books 1 and 2, as well as Math 1, Part 1. And then I also paired this, The Good and the Beautiful curriculum, with Horizons Math, Level K, Book 1. We did also do a little bit of Book 2. This is the student workbook. We did also do a little bit of Book 2, but we didn't finish it. And we will be finishing it this upcoming year during the first grade year. Horizons is a little bit more advanced. It is somewhat in line with Abeka. So it is slightly more advanced than The Good and the Beautiful's original math line. And that is one of the reasons I actually chose to pair it with this program. However, the scope and sequence is pretty much in line with this line that you're looking at right here, okay? So the way it starts out with the Math Level K is very, very simple. They just start with numbers, counting, number sense, 0 through 10, and just get your children familiar with those numbers. Okay, now anybody who knows anything about curriculum, they know that the first maybe like 20 lessons or so are going to be prerequisite material, basically. Just making sure that you have all that material down so that you can successfully complete the course. All right, so a lot of the stuff that you will see in the beginning lessons is actually stuff that would have been pre-K material. All right, now right here in lesson 6, they did include tally marks. I would say that is kindergarten level, but it's very basic, tally marks 1 through 10. I'm just going to go ahead and flip through this. The pages are very colorful, and they do have a lot of very interesting and engaging activities for the children. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this math just because of the fact that they're no longer selling it. However, if you are interested in getting your hands on it, the only place you would probably be able to find it is on Facebook. There is a Facebook page called The Good and the Beautiful Curriculum Marketplace. Some people do have copies of this and are selling it right there. Okay, so if you really do like what you see, then that is the place to get it. Okay, addition stories. It has a lot of these nice little activities here, logic activities and stuff like that. My daughter absolutely loved them. Pattern activities. This is where they utilize those 10 frames, adding on. And they do use a lot of the terminology used in public schools, as well as some of the new modern math methods. In kindergarten, it's not too intense. It's just like we're using 10 frames. We're using certain terms that are used in public school. That's about it. Now, The Good and the Beautiful says that they do not align the curriculum to the Common Core. I know some states have a Common Core. We live in Illinois, so we definitely have a Common Core here. But as homeschoolers, we all know that we don't have to follow those guidelines. If you decide to use The Good and the Beautiful, whether it be their old math line or their new math line, just know that your child will be completely okay and fall in line with all the other kids at school. Not only does this curriculum cover everything that would be expected of a public schooler, but it goes above and beyond that. On here, we're going now into number line subtraction, story problem practice. Keep going. Now we're working on doubles here. This is about halfway through the level K program. Us personally, we are able to do all of level K and then half of level 1, just because my daughter already did have some exposure to math, and she was pretty well versed on how to write her numbers as well as number recognition. So we didn't have to waste too much time on some of the handwriting activities that are available in the first couple lessons. Taking away from some fact families are in here. There's also a lot of place value. Every single day, they included place value. So every single day, you would count your school days, basically. So we ended up going up to 180 because we did 180 school days. Every single day, you would just color in one little block here on this Mr. 10. That's what we call it in our house. You fill in one little block, and once you completed filling in every single one of those little individual blocks on the Mr. 10, you would then move him over into the tens place, like these. And then once we have 10 tens in the 10 place, then we would go ahead and move that over to the hundreds place value. Okay. This did really help my daughter understand numbers and how to add them. Okay, it does also include number bonds. And here we call it part whole, right? They do also use that terminology in public schools, by the way. Part whole, pictographs, more fact families, and there's a lot of work on fact families. We have making a 10, more practice making a 10. It's just really fun ways of getting the kids engaged in this. My daughter absolutely loved those logic activities. We have the dime, more making 10 practice. They really, really kind of drill that in. Now if I ask my daughter, can you give me two numbers that equal 10? She can do it like right away. There are 11 different ways to make a 10, and she can easily produce one for me. Okay, here's the teen numbers. Trying just to flip through it kind of fast. My daughter also really liked these activities. Basically, these little packages here, they were down here. My daughter would cut out the packages, and then she has to fit those packages into this wagon. This is a wagon here. So she had to arrange them in order to fit neatly into the wagon. We have a lot of activities like that in here. Good for her problem solving skills and spatial awareness. Here's another one. She really liked the challenge that it provided. Also, every single day, they do include a daily dose in here. And the daily dose, it starts off with calendar. This does also include a calendar with this curriculum. I don't have it right here, but it does include a calendar. However, some people didn't like the calendar and include it, and they just use their own. That's totally okay because it doesn't really matter as long as you're doing calendar. That's all that matters. All right. So calendar, you guys would check off the date, write the date, do your place value chart, and then ask some questions related to the place value chart. Count to a certain number, recite a phone number, and do some clock practice, because here you had already worked on time to the hour, so now they brought in that review. Okay. Adding on to 10 now. Making comparisons. 1/2, so now we're getting into fractions. Dartboard measurements, inches. We did do a lot of measuring. A chart that they include. Some more recreating the shape. A section review. And a section assessment. And then it includes a final assessment at the end of the level K. Okay, and then just some materials in the appendix. Now let's move on to the next book that we did for kindergarten. So we just continued right on. As soon as we finished those two for the level K, we just moved straight into book 1 of Math 1. There's the table of contents for that. Okay, it even gets into things like parallel lines. Covers all the different shapes. It's also covered in level K, different shapes. But this one is where they begin to cover trapezoids, parallel lines, intersecting lines, stuff like that. Okay, we'll start with months of the year. Pretty easy peasy. Now, the first few lessons here are kind of a repeat of some stuff that was in the level K, but in some areas it does take it to the next level. So right here, we are balancing equations. Okay, now we're doing greater than less than. Some of the greater than less than was also done in the level K. That's being continued on here. One more, one less, down the number line. Some more recreating patterns. They do also include optional nature activities. Okay, and bonus independent activities. Octagon, 2 more, 2 less, fact families, more making a 10, growing patterns. So in the first one, Math Level K included repeating patterns, different types of repeating patterns, and this one is including growing patterns. Taking from 10, reviewing time to the hour. Okay, a fun little way to do your subtraction, and then you go ahead, you link that there. I'm sorry, 1 second. That was incredibly strange. My laptop in the kitchen just went on all by itself. Okay, now let's move on. Taking away 5, and they show you nice little strategies to do that. Section review. A lot of practice problems. I really love this. A lot of practice problems. Oh, my daughter absolutely loved these hidden math equation searches. She loved them. Okay, now we have an assessment here for the first section. Now we're adding on to 10, doing time to the half hour. Lots of practice involved. Dimes plus pennies, subtracting to 10, 10 more, 10 less. And they did use the 100 frame. I'm sorry, the 100 chart. There we go. They used the 100 chart for that. Coin sort, parallel lines. There we go. We also worked on symmetry. Graphing, lots of graphing. Not only did she create graphs, but we also had to analyze graphs, you know, interpret the data. And here we go with trapezoids. More work on doubles through 20. Spelling your numbers all the way through 20. more doubles review, because they're doing a lot of doubles review because we're going to get into doubles plus 1. So double subtraction here. 4 in a row. There are a lot of games involved in this curriculum. That's what we really, really love. There's like bingo. Here's a bingo. Look at that. Speak of the devil. There you go. More of these spatial awareness activities. And my daughter absolutely loved the Sudoku and Shape Connect. Okay, that's a Shape Connect. Doubles plus 1. Parallel line review. They also have these nice little crack the code. Beautiful messages too. Life is so beautiful. Now, this is a Christian-based curriculum. So all of the messages in this curriculum are very Christian-like and God-like. So it doesn't get all too religious though. It just covers more like morals and values and stuff like that. So there are people of different religions that do this curriculum. It's not just only Christians. We have Muslims who enjoy doing this curriculum. My husband, for one, is Muslim, and he actually likes what he sees with this curriculum and what it's done for my daughter. Okay, section review. I'm Christian. Assessment. So that was our final assessment. The assessments in here are not super long, but they're perfect for homeschool. Okay. And that's that for that book. And then we went ahead and we paired that with Horizons. Okay, now I did cut out the first 38 lessons of this just because it was so easy peasy preschool stuff, and we started right here at lesson 39. Okay, I'm just going to show you what this looks like really quickly. Now this includes much larger numbers, which was great. My daughter absolutely loved that. Okay, so this is just a supplement. I am a very math-minded person. My daughter is very good at math, too. And she just wanted the extra work and extra challenge. Now, with the math activity box, I did already show you. It includes all these manipulatives, some tangrams. These are for the tangram puzzles over here. They have all different shapes. Okay. And then many different 10 frames. And we have some cards. Now, I was able to use some of these cards to play games. I also made my own cards. We have even and odd that we covered in this curriculum. Excellent. Lots of different shapes, 2D and 3D. We did some sorting with that as well. And then I added my own cards right here. These are the ones that I created. They are tally mark cards. I really wanted my daughter to get those tally marks down, and she did. Okay. We use the Rec and Rec a lot. When adding within 20, and it worked especially well when we were doing things like adding 5, taking away 5, and also adding to 10. Okay, it allowed her to see and visualize the numbers that she was working with. Okay, I did also add some of my own stuff, and I do this with any curriculum that I use. I add my own stuff. I never consider any curriculum to be perfect the way that it is. It can always use something. So one thing I wanted to add on for us, I added on these 1 through 100 number cards. It also has a number 0 in there that I put in there, just because 0 is also a number. I wanted my daughter to know that. I did also include in my own base 10 blocks. Okay, these she can feel them. The numbers are more tangible to her now with this. Okay, and we did a lot of different place value activities. And I do also have my own place value chart that I keep in our master binder for homeschool. And these right here are just place value cards. Okay, ones, tens, and hundreds are what we used. I did also add in my own set of flashcards, addition and subtraction. And what I like about these is the front is just, the problem, and then right on the back, they have the problem with the answer. So I was able to even have my daughter work on these independently a lot of times as well. Now, these are things that I would normally add to any curriculum right here. I would normally add this to any curriculum. And I do a lot of work with place value, just because that is very, very important if you're trying to get your child into higher level maths, okay? Also, learning how to compose and decompose numbers is same thing, extremely important if you're trying to get your child into higher level maths. All right, and that is it for today. If you like what you saw, the only place you can find this is on the Good and the Beautiful Curriculum Marketplace on Facebook. But I really do hope that you enjoyed what you saw here today. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.